Time to play a little rapid fire with the Longhorns as they get ready for their first season in the SEC.
And one thing we know about joining the SEC, them boys don't play, right? So UT's competition is about to be turned up a notch.
Yeah.
Or two.
Yeah.
Or three.
Yep, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's going to be massive. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get to our first rapid fire question. We know Georgia's going to be the toughest game on UT's schedule. What is second? Corey, do you have anything in mind? I'm going to let you think about it while I tell you the right answer. How about that? I'm going with the early season test against the defending national champs, the Michigan Wolverines. That game kicks off on September 7th. It'll be UT's first road game of the season, and we know it'll be a hostile environment in Ann Arbor. This is the largest stadium in all of Division I college football. They're going to pack 110 screaming fans in there. If the Longhorns win, though, it would be an important statement taking down the reigning champs.
See, I needed that extra time because that was my first pick. So I'm going to go with this one. As for me, I think the last game of the regular season will be an even tougher task at Kyle Field against the Aggies, who have waited a long 13 years to get revenge against the Horns. They have a solid quarterback in Connor Wigman, and new head coach Mike Elko will have them ready to play on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So can't wait to see that renewed rivalry. Now, swinging it back to Texas, though, Jeff, who's the player that's going to be tough to replace from last season?
I want to talk about that archive footage we just saw.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I saw Ricky. That's awesome. Turning the clock back in time. All right, we'll keep on turning the clock back in time to the guys who left last year. Who's going to be the toughest to replace? Corey, that's a great question. I'm going to go with Adonai Mitchell. The guy was a proven cheat code in the red zone. Fades, slants, he could do it all. Then he would out-jump and out-muscle any DB in his way. When the field gets condensed down there deep in the red zone, you only have 5 or 10 yards to gain before the end zone. You need a big target who you can trust, and Adonai was definitely that guy for both Quinn and Coach Sark last season.
See, I'm going to stick with the same position, but I'm going to go for a different reason. So Jordan Whittington is my pick, and the reason is for what he did off the field, his leadership that he brought, and also the way that he's able to bring people together. And you can sense the love that he had for the game. I think that was the biggest thing for me, knowing that in the locker room, everyone looked up to Jordan to be that leader. So who's going to replace him? That's the question. And also just in the media, and listening to him have questions. He's a great soundbite, and he loves ice cream. So I'm going to miss those questions and answers about the ice cream as well. But all right, let's shift our, what's up? You got something on your mind?
I know we have to move, but you mentioned ice cream.
Yeah.
We have an hour. Let's chat a little bit. What's the best ice cream flavor?
Butter pecan.
My man.
You already know the vibes.
Have you always liked butter pecan?
Yeah, I'm an old man at heart.
I didn't know. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well,
look at that.
That's my flavor, too.
Yeah.
I had no clue. Have we had this conversation before?
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll talk next commercial break.
Say less. All right, let's shift our focus to the guys we think that will make the biggest impact this year, who may not be someone that y'all are counting on right now.
Yeah, a name that you might not know today, but you will definitely know soon, a.k.a. the Breakout Player of the Year. And Corey, you know, I like to pat myself on the back when I can. Behind us, these were the two guys who you and I mentioned last year. You said Adonai Mitchell would break out. I said T. Sweat would break out. Both of them broke out, won some awards, and they're now playing in the NFL. We were right, so let's be right again.
You feel me?
Who's breaking out?
Well, my pick is going to be Leona Lafau. He's a sophomore linebacker from Hawaii, and I kid you not, his name has been coming up all camp long, whether it's his impact on special teams, how great of a teammate he is, or simply his growth at his position. Lafau may not be a household name yet, but he's definitely a locker room one, and that's a good sign for success.
They call him the Lion Man, and a lion is my favorite animal, so I like that pick a whole lot.
Yeah.
I like my pick, too. My pick is number 11, Silas Bolden. He's a senior transfer from Oregon State. The guy's undersized. There's no hiding that, but there's also no hiding his game-breaking speed. Bolden also has experience. He's played in 37 college games, both as a wide receiver and a return man. The versatility, the speed, it all helps a guy whose physical stature, it's not going to wow many defenders. Silas only stands about 5'8", maybe 160 pounds, but you can't measure heart. And his head coach says Silas has plenty of that.
You know, I think of like a Steve Smith, right, who was a fearless receiver, you know, at Utah and in the NFL. Silas is fearless. You know, he's not afraid to do any of the dirty work, but he also uses his strengths to his ability. Cat quick. He's fast in the open field. He trusts his speed. He's elusive. But at the end of the day, he doesn't shy away from the contact. And I think that's the key ingredient for a guy that's not the biggest player. He's got to be brave. He's got to have courage. He's got to be fearless.
That he is. Well, guys, we're going to dial the clock back a little bit to a few months ago. Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning, and Trey Owens all had what I like to call moments of wow during the spring game back in April. And what wowed me the most were Manning's massive improvements from his first spring game to his second. Now, don't take my word for it. I have two plays to show you where Arch was as a freshman and where he is now. Let's check them out. We'll start with a play from last year's spring game. This throw is tough. It's a 10-yard comeback from one hash to outside the numbers on the other. It's a throw that Arch completed as a freshman, but barely. It's inaccurate, a difficult play for the receiver to make, and doesn't allow for any yards after the catch. Now, check out this year. Same concept, a 10-yard comeback from one hash to outside the numbers on the other side of the field. Much different result. An easy catch for the receiver who was able to turn and fall forward for another 3 yards. Those 3 yards could be the difference between a first down and a 3-and-out. Next play, different concept, but the same massive improvement in accuracy. This is last year's spring game. Savion Red lined up next to Arch in the backfield. Savion's job is to push the defender out and then cut in. He did his job, but the pass was off the mark. Fast forward to this year's spring game, same route concept. Jaden Blue lined up in the backfield now. He'll push his defender out before cutting in. Arch puts the ball on the money this time, which leads to points. It's improvements like those that led ESPN's Peter Burns to say Texas has not one but 2 quarterbacks who could eventually win Heisman trophies in this offense.
Jeez, high expectations, but that's what happens when you got Manning as your last name, I guess you should say, huh?
Yeah, and when you're making improvements like that, you earn some butter pecan ice cream.